Okay, welcome. Nope, there we go. You got it. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 16th, 2014 meeting of the Hot Springs Board of Directors. Tonight our invocation will be led by Pastor Lamar Trishman, to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please stand with me?
Would you join me? Father God, we thank you for this great city that we live in. Father, I am grateful personally for the opportunity to pray before a city meeting. And we recognize that all authority comes from above. And we're very grateful for your mercy and for your grace to us. During this time of year, Father, we are reminded of the greatest gift, the gift that you gave in your Son. And Father, I love seeing all of the sacrifice and the kindness in this time of year as we give to others less fortunate than ourselves. And we thank you for a city that puts a priority on that. I pray for these directors, for our mayor. Thank you for their work. And especially I want to thank you for Karen Garcia, my personal friend, her sacrifice and service to this city. We're grateful for her. We ask all these things in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Comma. There is a comma.
I hereby call this meeting to order. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
McCabe.
Here.
Garcia.
Here.
Folly.
Here.
Carney.
Here. Okay, and we're all here.
Yes.
The first item of business is to consider the approval of the agenda for tonight. Directors, are there any corrections, additions, deletions, modifications to the agenda, including items, if any, to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
That's a move.
Is there? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? The motion is adopted. The next item of business is to consider the approval of the minutes of the board meetings on the regular board meeting held on December 2nd, 2014, and the special meeting held on December the 9th. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, pardon me, deletions or modifications to the minutes?
No.
Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve? We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion is adopted. In an effort to afford everyone an equal and orderly opportunity to address the items of tonight's agenda, I remind our citizens and our guests that we adhere to a 3-minute limit for your comments. And for your convenience, we will display a clock timer on the monitors, and out of respect for all of us, we ask that you honor this request. While members of the board may have questions of the speakers, I ask that any general comments by the board members be reserved for the board discussion after all the speakers have been heard. We also ask that all cell phones be silenced during the meeting, and please refrain from any disruptions of the meeting. Should you need to leave prior to the conclusion of the meeting, please do so quietly so that we may continue. And thank you all for being here. We appreciate your interest in our city and in your city and the business that's going on here, and we appreciate you coming out tonight to be a part of this. At this time, we will recognize our guest, and I would like to start with Mr. Ken Edwards. I'd like to ask Gene Wallace to escort Ken up here to the platform. I don't know, have any of you been downtown lately to look around and see the beautiful lights and the music and the park? And it's just extremely above and beyond this year, I think. We've had an absolutely beautiful light system, and the decorations have been just awesome. And so as people were talking to me and telling me how beautiful and awesome everything is, I kept hearing this name come up, Ken Edwards, Ken Edwards, Ken Edwards. So I thought, well, let's find out what all Mr. Edwards has done. I just want to thank you. I want to take this opportunity in this time of year at Christmas, and you've added so much. I know it's a group effort. I know I've made this comment. We always say the City of Hot Springs did this, or the Parks and Trails did that. And sometimes we forget to focus on the real live people that make up those areas and are the spark plugs that make everything light up. So we want to thank you for your part in making our city more beautiful. But let me just say this. I have something to read here for you. Many employees call him Mr. Christmas because he plans, programs, and coordinates the holiday lights display in downtown Hot Springs. He doesn't mind, he said, that he loved the work he does because it allows him to express his creative side and use his abilities to make things better for our citizens and our visitors. When Ken came on board with the Parks and Trails Department in June of 2002, he had extensive knowledge and experience in construction, sound, lighting, and television production. When he was a teenager, he worked with the lights and sound for plays at school, local bands, and at church. In 1983, he took a radio broadcasting class, and in 1989, he went to work for television station WWPV in Mobile, Alabama. While there, he worked the camera and learned technical directing, film editing, and live on-air switch. Ken loves our downtown area and interacting with our citizens and visitors. He enjoys answering their questions and hearing them the compliments regarding our beautiful city. Parks and Trail Director Gene Wallace said, Ken has multiplied our holiday decorations by his creative and efficient use of time and money. The City of Hot Springs is fortunate to have someone with his talent in charge of our downtown holiday display. I get a lot of credit, but it's the combined work of Parks and Trails crew, downtown merchants, and the volunteers. It's truly a community effort, he said. All of the effort pays off when he sees families and friends getting together and creating memories while they enjoy the holiday light display. Be sure to take a ride down Central Avenue, enjoy the sights and sound. And this year we have a radio station we tune into, and it plays with the lights. It's just absolutely awesome. And we wanted to say thank you, Ken Edwards, for all that you have helped make happen in our city. Jean, would you like to?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to say that it's been a real honor and a privilege to work with Ken through the years and watch him grow in his ability to be so creative and so determined to get as much efficiency as possible through this program. He works with bare bones budgets. He purchases, he splices, he dices, he programs, and he puts the wow into our downtown holiday display. So I'm so glad that he's being acknowledged. It is a team effort, but he is our elf in chief.
Thank you. Ken, we'd like to hear from you.
Well, I just want to say thank y'all very much for the honor, but it is a team effort, and without y'all's support and the city's support, it would be very hard to do this. And I would like to thank the whole city and the departments that have helped make this happen, because it is a team effort. It is the City of Hot Springs.
Thank you. But
Thank
the city
y'all.
has a face, and tonight it's yours. We want to
Thank y'all
thank
so
Ken,
much.
and we want to, all of us appreciate what he's done. Thank you. And after this is over, we can ride downtown and relax as we watch the lights. My little 2-year-old grandson the first night he saw it, he got out of the car and he's just learning colors, and he started saying purple, yellow, red, and he just started naming all the colors. And so it's really neat downtown for the kids to come and enjoy. Thank you. Okay, and our next, I have a proclamation to read, and LaJean Burnett, would you come forward to the podium? And LaJean is from, you want to just tell us who you are and where you're from, and then I'll read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is LaJean Burnett with Garland County Cares, the prevention arm of Quapaw House, And we implement drug-free communities grant here in the city, and our goal is to reduce alcohol-related crashes, DWIs, DUIs, through prevention efforts.
And you do a lot of other things too. They're just a really great organization for prevention and education in our community. This is a proclamation. Whereas impaired driving is a violent crime that kills. Every 30 minutes, someone in America dies because of an impaired driver. And whereas the December holiday season is traditionally one the most deadly times of the year for impaired driving, and whereas for thousands of families across the state and the nation, holidays are a time to remember loved ones lost, and whereas organizations across the state and the nation are joined with the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign that fosters public awareness of the damages of impaired driving and law enforcement efforts to curb impaired driving. And whereas the Police Department of Hot Springs, Garland County, Arkansas is proud to partner with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Arkansas Department of Transportation's Division of Traffic Safety, Garland County Cares, and other advocacy groups in the effort to make our streets and roadways safer. Now, therefore, I, Ruth Carney, Mayor of the City of Hot Springs, on behalf of the Board of Directors of the City of Hot Springs, do hereby proclaim December 2014 as National Drugged Driving Prevention Month in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and do hereby call upon all citizens, government agency, business leaders, hospitals, and other healthcare providers, schools, and public and private institutions to promote awareness of the impaired driving problems, to support programs and policies to reduce the incidence of impaired driving, and to promote shelter and healthier behaviors regarding the use of alcohol and drugs this December holiday season as well as throughout the year. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed on the 16th day of December in the year of our Lord 2014. Ruth Carney, Mayor. Okay, and another proclamation, with a little bit different than the ones we're used to reading, is the proclamation declaring results of the election office of the mayor. I, Ruth Carney, Mayor of the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, do hereby proclaim that at the general election held on November the 2nd, 2014, in the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas, the following votes were cast for directors on the Hot Springs Board of Directors. District 2, Elaine Jones, 478 votes. Willie McCoy, 452. District 4, Larry Williams, 987. Carol Weatherford, 454. Kenny Hallbecker, 450. District 5, Rick Ramick was unopposed. Mayor Ruth Carney, 3,894. Pat McCabe, 3,854. David Quast, 1,751. Given this 16th day of December 2014, signed Ruth Carney, Mayor of the City of Hot Springs. So it's official. And everyone did a great job. Everybody that runs for office is a winner, no matter what, because it gives us life experiences that we would never have otherwise, and it's really an experience that more people should take advantage of, right? And get out there and give of yourselves, and especially volunteering in our community. It's awesome. We want to just say thank you to everyone. Okay. And we will now hear our city manager's report.
Well, thank you, Mayor. If I could ask Director Karen Garcia and Director Pat McCabe to come down front, please.
Put your picture too.
I've had the pleasure in my career of working with probably 100 some odd very talented people, bankers, architects, doctors, activists, etc. a real experience to be able to work with people that you really admire. In Hot Springs, unlike a lot of communities, we have volunteers who are directors. In a lot of cities I've been in, the council members, the mayors have been paid. Here they're not paid. Here they give tirelessly of their self to benefit the community. I can tell you from personal experience, on behalf of our staff, that this community has been well served by two individuals who have displayed incredible financial acumen in helping guide the city. We are blessed to have a CPA, going to continue at CPA, and a CEO of a major hospital that's had a big impact here in Hot Springs for decades, in Levi. The guidance that they've given me and my staff has been superb. My staff respects them. We know that when Karen Garcia asks a question, it's been well thought out, and we better have a done right answer. If Pat McCabe comes by, we know that he has a real interest in biking, running, swimming, and whatever else you do. But also we'll be making a major investment in downtown Hot Springs with the opening of the Hell Bathhouse, which will be a real off-the-chart bed and breakfast that will bring people to downtown Hot Springs to work, play, and have fun.
All right.
I would like to present on your behalf these small tokens of the public service that both of you have provided citizens of Hot Springs. Thank you very much. Do you guys want to say anything?
I do.
Or does the board want to say things?
I would like to say something. I told people, I said, we are so blessed to have these people on our board, but I have never been involved in a situation where when something comes up, we have somebody who says, now, if you remember, in 2008, we spent $43,800 on that. Your memory is unbelievable,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia, and we're going to miss you. And Mr. McCabe, miss you both. Thank you for tutoring us newbies on the board, too.
Thank you.
On behalf of myself, I just can't express my appreciation for the wisdom and the mentorship that I have received from the two directors next to me. I'm going to miss you both.
We're going to call you with questions.
Yes.
So you're not off the hook yet.
I do have one question. David Watkins says that he has dealt with 100 odd directors. Is that right?
7 really good ones.
But 7 really good ones.
Odd.
Elaine, did you have your mouth open?
Well, my mouth's always open. But I was going to tell Karen that she taught me how to my math. You brought back a lot of memories, with my math, because I was always terrible in math. And for Mr. McCabe, I will still take my baths at the Levi Hospital. Thank you both for your service. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, shall I consider that the announcements concerning upcoming events? No,
Well,
next is
maybe.
do any of our directors have announcements you'd like to make?
I was going to mention that Saturday at the airport is the new art exhibit from the traditional art group TAG, and with a reception at 1:30, and 2 artists will be featured. And one day this week there was an article and their pictures in the paper, but they have awesome exhibits out at the airport, and go out and enjoy the reception and the great art that is on display, and thank the airport for providing this venue.
Okay. Any other upcoming events? No? Okay. The next item of business is the consideration of the consent agenda. Items in this section are of a routine nature and will be considered as one item of business without discussion. As soon as we pass this, there are several people we need to introduce to the group. So as soon as we get through with the consent agenda, we will stop and recognize those who have been appointed to committees and commissions. I will now entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second? Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's adopted.
It is adopted. And I'd like to go back over, and I didn't see Josie here tonight. Is she here? Josie Fernandez was appointed to the Airport Advisory Committee. Didn't see her, but we are so glad she has taken that spot. It's wonderful to have her on board. Ann Caruso and Carol Lee Ketchen and June Simmons to the Arts Advisory. Are any of... Is anybody here? Ann, Carol, or June? No? Okay, and appointing Scott Smith to the Board of Zoning Adjustments. Is Scott here? Okay, and a resolution appointing Longhua and Mary Frances Moore to the Historic District Commission. They were all here last week at the agenda meeting, so we got to meet all of them. And Christopher Ham to the Parks. Christopher Ham. And a resolution appointing Harold Koppel and Wayne Thompson. I saw Wayne. You're here. Would you please stand up? I thought I saw you here. And thank you so much. That'll be to the Planning Commission and also Hillary Janet. Is that the way you say it? Janet. I got it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you here and bringing your husband with you tonight. Good to see you here. And we appreciate all of you and stepping up to take a part in what goes on in our city. And I think that's a very important commission there especially. Kathy Muse, is she here tonight for the Housing Authority? Kathy Muse?
Right here.
Richard Harrington, our new
Yes.
Housing Authority Director.
Is Richard still here?
Yeah, he's here.
There you are, back in the back. Would you please stand, Richard? And he is our Housing Authority administrator now, and we are appreciating his presence here with us tonight. And you tell Ms. Muse that we are excited to appoint her to your, well, actually, it's a reappointment, isn't it? She's been there for a while. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
And let's give all of them a hand. Hope I didn't miss anybody. Okay. The next item of business is to consider resolution. This is old business. Resolution number R-14-246. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R-14-246, a resolution condemning certain real property located at 101 Park Avenue, Majestic Hotel, Red Brick, and Lanai Towers. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion and a second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and would you like to take that?
Mary, prior to discussion, I would ask the board, based on some recent developments in the legal proceedings associated with this property, that you table this item until your first meeting in February.
Okay.
So if you
Okay.
could entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table this item until our meeting in February. Do we need to call the roll on that one, or it'd be better to call the roll?
And just for clarification for the public, the legal proceedings that you mentioned, could you provide a little bit more explanation? There needs to be more time because of some
There's-
developments. Is that
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes,
There are things in process. Okay. Yeah, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's adopted.
It is adopted. Okay, the next portion is the new business. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R-14-247, Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R-14-247, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Red Oak Water Improvement District Number 50 and accepting certain water improvements. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion and second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to
Come on,
adopt?
Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Mr. Carnahan?
Thank you, Mayor. This, about 15 years ago, the folks who lived in the Red Oak part of Hot Springs area off of Carpenter Dam Road and highway, the highway that goes out to Diamond Head, got together and formed this improvement district and installed, submitted their plans with their design engineer, installed the water facilities. They were inspected and accepted and been operating, and we have a lot of customers connected to that system now for all these years. But at this time, they have paid off all the indebtedness that that district had, and they would like to disband the district and do away with it. And part of that action is to ask the city then to officially accept these water mains into the city water system as part of the assets of the water department. So it includes about 3 miles of water lines, and at the time it was built, it cost about $1.2 million to install those facilities.
Okay. Oh, we don't have anyone signed up to speak to that, do we? Did you check that?
Yeah.
No, there's no one signed up. Okay, it's open for discussion from the directors. Do you have any questions? Okay, I guess we're through with you then. They don't have any questions. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye, it is adopted. Okay. And the next item of business is to consider resolution number R-14-248. Would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R-14-248, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Randall Road Water Improvement District Number 52 and accepting certain water improvements. That includes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and Mr. Carnahan again.
Thank you. This is very similar to the previous one. This is a smaller system that only cost about $120,000 to build. It serves a few homes in the Randall Road area on the south side of Lake Hamilton, and they have also paid off all of their indebtedness and would like to disband the district and have the assets transferred to the city.
Any questions? There's no one signed up for that either. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye, it is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have one more? The next item of business is to consider resolution number R-14-249. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R-14-249, a resolution awarding a bid to Coakley Company for the 2014-2015 ISO Waterline Improvement Project. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion second to adopt and a discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Can we have a motion and a second? Mr. Carnahan again?
Thank you. For the last 4 years, I think, the city board has approved and our utility department has funded the replacement of old water mains in the city to help reduce water leaks. But also, we've worked in conjunction with the fire department to find areas that were that needed fire hydrants, that did not have proper fire hydrant coverage. We want to maintain that ISO 2 rating. And so we are also replacing 2-inch pipes, old 2-inch pipes with new 6-inch mains, because that gives us the capacity to add fire hydrants. This project is a continuation of that program. It includes 12 different streets in the city, 14,000 feet, almost 3 miles of water pipe, 17 new fire hydrants. And another nice thing that happened with this particular project is that 2 of the streets that we just annexed into the city, Tatum and Fontana, did not have proper fire coverage. So we were able to include those 2 streets in this contract. So we did bid this out, and we received 2 bids. Coakley Company was the low bidder, and we'd like to ask you to award this contract to them for $893,744.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the directors? Okay. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's approved.
It is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have one more. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R14250. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R14250, a resolution awarding a bid to Coakley Company for the Fairwood Forest Main Extension Project Phase 3. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion and a second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
May I so move?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And Mr. Carnahan.
Thank you again. This is part of our consent administrative order to reduce overflows in the wastewater system. And in order to do that, we have to provide additional pipe capacity because our existing main trunk line is overloaded. And so we're installing a new 24-inch sewer pipe force main from Mountain Pine out on the far west end of town, Mountain Pine Junction, to the wastewater plant on the extreme eastern side of town, all the way through town. And now we have made it to the area of Shady Grove Road and the Boys Club. And this would take that 24-inch pipe from that point south on Shady Grove Road, across Golf Links, down Fontana to the Hot Springs Pump Station. A total of about 12,000 feet of 24-inch diameter pipe. It's part of our $40 million bond issue that we approved this last year. That we had a public bid opening. We received 7 bids. It was very tightly bid by some fine companies. Coakley Company, though, was the low bidder for $2,139,000, and we'd like to ask you to award this contract to the Coakley Company.
Okay. We don't have anyone signed up for that. Directors, do you have any questions? Okay, hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye, it is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Carnahan. The next item of business is to consider resolution number R14251. Council, would you please read the resolution by title?
Resolution R14251, a resolution adopting a budget for the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas for the year 2015. That concludes reading. You can now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
And we have a motion and a second. Would that be Doretha, are you, or Mr. Watkins?
I'm going to handle that. If we need an assist from Doretha, I'll get that. Earlier today, we had a budget workshop discussing a couple items in detail that need to be, I think, focused on as part of your approval. The first includes a one-time payment to all city employees in the amount of, we discussed, in the amount of 2.5%, which is a 0.5% increase from what's in the budget. So if I can entertain an amendment to that budget resolution following my presentation, it would be necessary to have that to implement. Impact on the budget, it's about another $55,000. One thing about our budget that we explained last year, but I need to explain again today, the City of Hot Springs is in excellent financial shape. At any given time, we have a cash balance probably over 20% or more that we carry in our general fund, which is the main funding for governmental operations like police, fire, parks and recreation, public works. We have similar balances that we carry in our utility funds. The rating agencies have recognized our utilities as being very, very well managed, very stable, adequate cash reserves. Capital planning is according to standards that other cities have adopted. We show on paper, and I want to emphasize this, when you compute your budget according to the documents and the accounting rules that we have to follow, you show a paper deficit, but you actually end up with a cash balance. We will end up this year in 2014 in our general fund, which is the one people primarily focus on, with a positive balance over the corresponding time in 2013. And if everything goes the way we think it will, we'll have a similar type increase in 2015. So when you look at parentheses around numbers, view that as an accounting measure we have to take, not as actual cash in the bank, which is how you budget your own money in your business and your residents. A couple of highlights about the budget. Number one, just a reminder that the city of Hot Springs is one of the few cities in Arkansas that does not have a property tax. Yes, you pay property tax to the school district that you live in, whether it's Hot Springs or Lakeside. I think a little bit of Cutter Morningstar is in Hot Springs. So you're paying that property tax payment. You pay a county property tax millage that did go to Road and Bridge, now goes to general fund. And aside from that, that's what you're paying when you pay the property tax. The city of Hot Springs relies very heavily on sales tax. We have a 1.5% sales tax. 0.5 goes to police and fire, 1 goes to the general fund. That really provides the bulk of the money that runs the city. And because of that, the elasticity of sales tax, which means it's unpredictable, very tied to economic conditions, we have to budget a reserve to make sure that we can cover our cash flow if we have a dip like this city had and so many had in 2009. But we're in great financial shape. We have an audit 2013 that illustrates that. Our finance department staff do a wonderful job keeping us in financial good graces. One source of revenue that we do see going up is the take that the city of Hot Springs gets from gambling at the Oaklawn facility. With the expansion, we're anticipating an increase in revenues. That gives us some comfort level to be able to afford the 2.5% one-time payment. This is what I would call a maintenance budget. There really aren't any new programs, new directions that the city is able to take. In the coming year, I want to be able to take a more detailed analysis into capital needs. Right now, we finance some of our capital needs over a 5-year period. A lot of cities finance capital needs over 10, 15, 20-year period. Arkansas limits you to 5 years, which is unusual, except on utility debt. I'm very proud of the organization, very proud of what we're doing. I think we're making great strides in street repairs, customer service. I think our fire department, police departments, second to none. I think all of the departments, the ones we recognize this evening, Park and Recreation, Public Works, Administration, IT, are all working together as a team seamlessly, and this budget will allow them to continue doing that. This budget also puts a big emphasis on maintenance and repair. The city hasn't really been a good steward in the past of its facilities, and we're playing catch-up. But I think we're making great strides in water infrastructure, wastewater, and our facilities and our streets and our sidewalks. We have a massive sidewalk program that's about to be underway that will really pay off dividends in making our neighborhoods more attractive to people wanting to move into Hot Springs. The Metro Partnership funding was discussed this evening. Some of you may know that was actually a county-initiated program years ago to market Garland County, including Hot Springs. And the city of Hot Springs joined years ago to create a partnership that this year produced $100,000 from the city of Hot Springs, $75,000 from Garland County, and investments from various companies who are located in Hot Springs and Garland County. The board had a concern about the ability of Metro Partnership to fund our contract. This is not a payment to the chamber as a dues payer. This is the funding of a program. We're funding a program through a contract. And so the board wanted assurances that the Chamber of Commerce would be able to satisfy the demands of the contract, Metro Partnership, with the news that the county was pulling out $75,000. Jim Fram, our chamber CEO, mentioned tonight that he still had hope that the county would reinstate that funding sometime in the first quarter of 2015. That's the discussion we had. The budget includes $100,000 for the Metro Partnership, same funding as we had in 2014, and $12,500 for a relocation program to entice both senior retirees or young people or families to move to Hot Springs, Garland County. The total budget that's before you this evening is $101 million. Well, the expense side would be $101,862,068. People say, well, that seems to be a big budget for a city of 35,000. You have to remember a couple of things. One, we budget for utilities. When you have utilities, your budget's going to be much greater, obviously, because you have to expend money and take revenues in, than if you don't have utilities. We have water and wastewater, which serve way beyond Hot Springs. We cover over 115 square miles in water, even though we only serve 35 square miles here in Hot Springs. So we have to budget for that liability. We accepted assets this evening from Red Oak, for example. Now we have to budget for maintenance and replacement in the future. I think, Mayor, that's about it. I would welcome any comments from the board or questions from the board. If you do want to consider that 2.5, I will need a motion to amend the resolution.
Okay, we don't have anyone signed up to speak. It's open for the
Ma'am.
Board of Directors. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Mayor, I would move to amend this budget to change the one-time payment of 2% to 2.5% that's currently included there, and adjust all department salaries and benefit lines accordingly. And I would like to speak to my motion if I get a second.
Okay,
Second.
okay.
At the time this information was prepared, it was prior to the November financial statements. Upon receiving the November financial statements, we have received a significant increase in revenues from Oaklawn Gaming. And the estimated additional general fund impact is $55,000, and the majority of that was in additional revenues already in November. So we would not be, we would still end the year in within our policy requirements. And I regret that we do not have the revenues to approve a cost of living raise for our city employees. It's not because they don't deserve it or that they have earned it, but the next best thing is to try to provide with this one-time payment.
One clarification, the one-time payment does not include a commensurate benefit adjustment, but a COLA would. This is a 1% or 2.5% on your salary.
That's correct.
Any other comments? Questions? Okay. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Bear in mind, this is a vote on the motion to
Oh,
amend.
the amend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, yes. This is the amendment to adjust for the 2.5%.
Yes.
Okay. Would you please-
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
That is
It is amended. Now, is there any discussion on the motion to approve the budget as amended?
I just had a couple of comments. In the presentation of the budget meeting, it was presented to us in our contract. Through that, we have a dedicated economic development person for downtown development and redevelopment, and currently more leads are in the works for that part of the economic development than elsewhere that they are working with in the county. And secondly, it appears that our receivables for fines have continued to rise. And in 2015, once our new Garland County Detention Center is open and in place, that might be an area to watch, that our fines with payments coming in should start increasing and whittling down that receivable amount.
Good point.
Any other comments? Okay, I will entertain a motion to adopt the,
You already
We
got
do.
it.
the amendment
You
to
got it.
amend. I've got it, okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, would you please call the roll?
yes. Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Approved.
It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider ordinance number 01471. First of all, we entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01471, an ordinance adopting 2014 Arkansas Energy Code for new building construction, repealing ordinance number 5410, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading, Mayor. If you now entertain a motion to second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
That's a move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay, any discussion? Who's going to do that one?
Mike
Mike
Scott.
Scott
Mike,
is the
there you
chief
are.
building official.
Mike Scott, Chief Building Official for the City of Hot Springs. I'm here to ask y'all to adopt the 2014 Arkansas Energy Code. The state has already adopted it. It takes effect come January 1st. There's no physical impact on this. There are no fees associated with the Energy Code. So therefore, it's, it's just an update. The last time it was updated was '04. So this code that we're currently under is 10 years old, so.
Okay.
Any questions?
Okay, thank you so much. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's approved.
It is adopted. Okay, the next item of business to consider ordinance number 01472. I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title only. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01472, an ordinance adopting the National Electrical Code, including Annex 8H, Administration and Enforcement, 2014 edition, repealing ordinance number 5913, and for other purposes. That concludes your reading. If you would, entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Okay, and discussion. Mike again?
I'm here to ask you to approve an ordinance of 2014 National Electric Code. This is also an update of the National Electric Code. Every 3 years, the state adopts a new electric code. It's the most current code we have. They're pretty consistent. Again, there's no different financial impact with this. We haven't upped the fees at all. We're keeping the current fees. The state has already adopted this, and it actually started taking effect November 21st. So they let me know like 2 weeks before they did it, so I did it as quick as I could, so.
Good. Okay, any questions for Mike? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hearing no discussion, would you please call the roll?
Mayor, excuse me,
Oh,
I
did you
I
have
have a
some?
question. Council, with the acceptance of this ordinance, does this require a 30-day waiting period before implementation?
There is no emergency clause established with this ordinance, so yes, it will.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
Adopted.
It is adopted. The next item of business is to consider ordinance number 01473. I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title only. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, no. Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01473, an ordinance approving CTR commercial transitional zoning on 1.34 acres at 112 Mangum Street and amending the future land use plan map to designate the area commercial enclave and for other purposes. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion to second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. And Ms. Selman?
Thank you, Mayor. Kathy Selman, Planning and Development Director. This is an appeal of Planning Commission action from last month. The applicant is Wayne Thomason, and he's acting on behalf of the property owners. He filed a notice of appeal for a fairly unusual situation. He had a project, which I will explain right after this, where 5 votes from Planning Commission were required to recommend that the board approve the item. There were only 6 planning commissioners in attendance. As you know, we've been down a couple of seats on Planning Commission. Out of those 6 votes, he did receive a majority. He had 4 votes and 2 to deny. So despite the support of Planning Commission, this didn't turn out to be a recommendation to approve. So complicated, yes. The appellant stated that only 6 of the 9 members of Planning Commission were present. 4 of the 6 voted to approve. He stated that he felt that had the other 3 members been present, he would have had the 5 votes needed for approval. And he further notes that this is the only parcel in the entire block not zoned commercial. This was a request on behalf of the owners Leon and Q. Leon Morphew. They were seeking C4 Regional Commercial Open Display District zoning for a property that's located mid-block on Mangum Street. Mangum Street is a road that runs parallel to Central. It's between Columbia Hills and Carl Drive. There are a number of notable businesses there. The Burger King probably is the one that comes most quickly to mind. It's about 1.34 acres. It's surrounded on the west side of Mangum by C4 district zoning that goes all the way across Central Avenue to the west. Directly across Mangum to the east is R3 zoning that is then surrounded by R4 medium high-density residential, and most of that is developed. This is an undeveloped 1.34 acres. This rezone extends a very large C4 zone that encompasses most of Central Avenue south of Oaklawn Park. The area is partly developed, partly undeveloped, and the recommendation was to approve, recommendation from the staff report to Planning Commission. Upon questioning, however, by Planning Commission, after nearby residents presented a petition not in favor of the request, applicant Thomason amended the C4 request to request CTR, that's commercial transitional, just the least intensive commercial zone. And so the request that Planning Commission voted on was in fact to rezone to commercial transitional. The Planning Commission's concern was that the applicant's goals be fulfilled while maintaining the general public interest. Now, you already know the ending here. Although there was a recommendation for approval, that it was found to be consistent with the objectives of the zoning code, that with the amendment would implement an approved city plan and responds to a significant change in surrounding physical and land use conditions. With the 4-2 vote on November 13th, after a duly advertised and public hearing was held, we now are before you with a request from Mr. Thomason to consider Planning Commission's majority vote to accept the staff findings and Planning Commission's findings and to approve an ordinance approving the CTR zoning.
Okay. And we have one person, Mr. Thompson, showed up to speak to this. I think Ms. Selman. She did a good job. Okay, thank you. So I guess you're for this, since, yeah. Okay, any discussion here?
I have a question.
Yes.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for council. I understand that from the Planning Commission's perspective and the City Planning Department's perspective, this is attempting to, I mean, they feel like there's somewhat of a compromise on here. But I want to play a little bit of a devil's advocate. If this situation had been reversed and they were looking at transitional and the commission for some odd reason came up and decided to make it C4 instead of transitional, would we have required a new notice to go out so that the residents would really know what's going on before they showed up? I mean, there were 40 people here who opposed this, this change, and I understand that it was under C4. What I'm trying to avoid is setting a precedent where we come in and really change the rules when we could table it and wait till next month and let the commission with full staffing address it.
Sure. I think it would not be unlike a situation that comes before the board, and there is a motion to amend the issue that's on the floor for your consideration. You know, does that require it to be tabled so that the public gets another shot at talking to you?
Good point. Okay.
But if you do feel that way, it's certainly within the board's prerogative to remand it back for further hearings. In this situation, it was a less intensive use of the property. It's my understanding that staff's recommendation, even at the C4 application level, was for approval. And the intensity was lessened with the CTR now being brought to you. And I'll also add that this would come to you regardless, whether or not this was an appeal or whether or not this was a truly recommended action by the Planning Commission. Whether they had all 9 members there or not, whether there was approval by the Planning Commission or not, it still comes to you because this is an ordinance.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to lose sight of the fact that this is some sort of unique situation coming to you. All zoning changes come to you,
Okay.
with
Thank
or
you.
without a recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Just to be clear, though, was this information sent back to these residents about the change? And did you hear any feedback?
Absolutely. The hearing before the board required a renotice. Any appeal requires that the exact same steps to notify are done for the appeal as were done for the original hearing. So everybody involved the first time received notice that this appeal was happening, and to my knowledge, we have received no calls.
And with a CTR, it's going to come back to you, or it's going to come back to the Planning Commission when they get their plan?
Yes, anything other than single-family, duplex, certain single-structure dwellings up to 12 units per acre, anything else comes back to Planning Commission. And we'll have, again, notice, a hearing, and a decision.
Thank you. Most of the opposition I heard about was C4.
And if you'll notice, everything around it is already commercial, everything. And there are a few homeless people living in there that I noticed, so it might disrupt their lifestyle, I'm not sure. But it's pretty well overgrown at this point, so I'm thinking anything would be an improvement there, most likely. So, any other discussion? Okay. Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. McCabe. Aye. Garcia.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
Davidson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Carney.
Aye. It is adopted. Okay, the next item of business is ordinance number O-1474. I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules and read by title only. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance O-1474, an ordinance awarding a franchise for the provision of medical ambulance services and for other purposes. That concludes the reading. You can now entertain a motion second to adopt and have discussion if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and our staff, would that be you, Chief?
Good evening, Directors, Mayor,
Good
Directors
evening.
Garcia, and Directors McCabe. Thank you for your service. Thank you. It's my privilege to come for you tonight and to recommend to you that you award the 2014 franchise for the provision of emergency ambulance services to LifeNet Incorporated. LifeNet has been the sole provider of emergency ambulance services in Hot Springs since 2005. They, in my opinion, have done an exemplary job in providing those services to the community and to Garland County. Without a doubt, we have one of the highest quality ambulance services in the state of Arkansas, probably in the region. From the fire department's standpoint, and we have looked at this very thoroughly, we also brought in a citizen review committee composed of Mike Dugan, Elizabeth Ferris, Dr. Gene Shelby, Dr. Randy Hill, and Norman Newman to assist us in going through LifeNet's RFP, the response to RFP rather. And we found that there was very few things in there that anyone could pick apart. I mean, the response was intelligent and well thought out. Therefore, the City of Hot Springs Fire Department is making the recommendation that you award this franchise to LifeNet. They're here tonight to answer your questions, and we would certainly be happy to entertain any questions from the Board of Directors.
Okay, we had Mr. Jason Gardner signed up to speak to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm basically here to say thank you. We've enjoyed being here. We're very proud of the service that we've provided since October 2005. I could go through a bullet point list for you of all the great things that we've done, and we'd like to keep on doing. But most importantly, I think the chief has covered everything. He keeps a close, watchful eye on us, and so if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
I just wanted to say you've done an awesome job, and a lot of the other things that you do besides the service is awesome. Also, the school presentation you make, is it prom night?
Yeah, Operation Prom Night. Yeah.
And so many things you do.
I thought you were going to say Hannah's Light for a second, but
Yeah, but you've just done an awesome job in our community, make it a better place to live, and I want to thank you for that.
I just had, can you kind of elaborate a little bit on your, the space that you're renting or will be leasing in the Lambert's bookstore building?
We have been discussing with Rick Williams, who owns that property, the Lambert Bookstore. We own the property across the alleyway, where our main headquarters is. He's doing some other renovations on the block there, and as he completes those and in Regions Bank, we haven't signed an agreement with him, but it's our intention after we get this 5-year agreement that we would be able to rapidly move into negotiation with him to secure that property, and we have some office space over in Regions Bank right now, and so we'll move us all over in that same general area. So
Good.
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to thank you for your commitment to our community, all the good service you've presented at community meetings I've hosted, and residents have been very pleased. I've had several neighbors that's had to utilize your services, and I'm thankful I haven't had to. But I've received excellent feedback, and thank you for bringing med flights. Very
Yes,
much.
It's a huge investment on our part,
appreciate
but
it.
it's, we've just celebrated our 1-year anniversary, and it's definitely saved lives in this community. I can
Yes.
absolutely say that.
Thank you.
Appreciate that so much. Anybody else? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's approved.
It is approved. Thank you. Why don't all of you stand up back there and just, we just appreciate all of you. I know you've done a great job, and thanks for coming tonight. Thank you. Yeah, let's do. Okay, the next item of business is consider ordinance number 01475. I will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Council, would you please read the ordinance by title?
Ordinance 01475, an ordinance authorizing a contract for services with Garland County Economic Development Corporation, now Metro Partnership, waiving competitive bidding and for other matters related thereto. That concludes your reading. If you now entertain a motion, second to adopt and have discussion, if any.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt
So moved.
and a second? And discussion. Who's going to present this? Bill.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. This particular agreement comes to you. It's actually the 2014 agreement. It's a housekeeping item to get this executed. It was added in the 2014 budget initially at the beginning of the year. They have provided that service. We've had one invoice. Actually, we've had all 4 invoices. We paid one and realized that we couldn't exceed the amounts that's governed by the city managers under your board policy. And as we reviewed that and found that we did not have that agreement executed, we need to take care of this housekeeping measure to be able to pay them for the services for 2014. You will see another one of these coming to you soon for 15.
Okay, do we have any questions? Any discussion? You do? Or no?
No, no.
Okay. Okay.
I have a
You do.
question.
Okay.
Yes. Who is the authorizing manager to approve the invoice for payment?
Those particular invoices are going to be submitted either through the city clerk's office or the finance department, but we do have a process for that.
So you're the authorizing
Yes.
manager. So if any terms of the contract are not met in full, you would do a withhold.
Absolutely. And we also will certainly notify Mr. Watkins and Mr. Albright as well.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Jones,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
McCabe,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Folly,
Aye.
Davidson,
Aye.
Carney.
Aye.
It's approved.
It is adopted. The next item of business is the annual evaluation of the city attorney and city manager. This will be conducted in an executive session. Do I have a motion to recess into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will now recess into executive session and reconvene afterwards to announce the vote on any action that may need to be taken. Thank you, everyone, for coming. You may go or you may stay for the reconvening. It's
was making stuff up and they finally got to see.
Do we need to go back on that? Okay, we are on the air. I'd like to call this regular session of the board meeting back to order. As you know, we went out into executive session, so before we start, why don't we take the roll?
Davidson.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
McCabe.
Here.
Garcia. Folly.
Here.
Carney.
Okay, we went into executive session for the purpose of evaluating the city attorney and the city manager, and we have had some consensus, and I would entertain a motion by one of you, or a motion by one of you as to what that consensus was.
I'll
ahead.
I'll try to crystallize that motion. I think just a prelude, we felt that both David and Brian are functioning at a very high level, and we wanted to recognize that their abilities, and so I make a motion that we provide city manager Mr. Watkins and city attorney Mr. Albright each with a $6,000 bonus.
I second that.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion, any further discussion?
I think the only clarifying point is that it not negatively impact the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and this is a one-time payment?
One-time payment, yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, heard the motion and the second. Call for the vote, please.
Jones.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
McCabe.
Aye.
Garcia. Davidson.
Aye.
Folly.
Aye.
It is approved.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. Is there any discussion? If there is, please get up and leave. Thank you all. We are adjourned.
Okay,
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you.